Good evening and welcome to Friday Night Thunder. Tonight, we bring you the second to last race of the season here at the Milwaukee Mile. Things are really heating up. I'm your host, Snake, and with me, I've got Fast Louie and Smokin' Joe on the broadcast tonight to bring you all the action here from the Midwest. Welcome, boys.
Welcome to the Midwest. We're in for some interesting action here tonight. First time we're bringing the ARCA cars till the Milwaukee Mile. Looks like we got a bit of an overcast day ahead of us as well.
Absolutely, Louie. We got him here. It's a little bit of a cloudy day, a little down in the dumps, if you will. It's a pretty much a flat surface here. This is the first time that we've come to this track here in this series. What are your thoughts tonight?
Keep it on the black. Anything else, you just you got to keep it on that black part when entering and exiting the corner. And yeah, it's gonna be a race.
So you see those pavement strips down there, Joe. You got that nice, fresher pavement there. That's definitely where Louie's referencing. Got the grip right down there. You want to hug it. Being that it's a flat oval, it's going to be a little tricky there for passing. As you see the 88 practice in there, just misses that paved part, gets it on the rebound coming out of the corner.
Yep, yeah, so I think Louie's right. We are going to be in store for a race tonight. We'll see what type of race we're in store for here in a few minutes. See, practice is starting to wind down here. We got some of the usual suspects up at the top. Speaking of the usual suspects right now, Ken Redinger's got a pretty sizable points lead, looking to go back-to-back on his championship. And those hopes tonight could be really, really either bolstered or squashed pretty quickly, see?
Absolutely. We saw Justin Parham trying to gain that momentum last week at Iowa. He had a great drive from the pole there, but Redinger did what he needed to do to keep it clean at the end, had himself a really solid race there. Justin's got a little digging to do, being 19 back. Volpus a little further back, 33 points back. He's going to have to throw that Hail Mary tonight, I believe. And looks like Steve Lewis, Jay Stinson, and Matt Novella have a puncher's chance, but that door is closing rather fast, boys.
You see all those drivers in red, they're going to start getting locks next to them and grayed out because it's not going to be mathematically possible after tonight. Eric Gambrill, for certain, going to be eliminated by missing tonight's race altogether. So he will not even have a chance to try and climb his way out of that hole here. With everybody else in front of him showing up, he's going to fall to 12th in the points here for certain after tonight.
Yes, with that being said, we'll keep our eyes on those top three and see if fourth and fifth have anything to say to make a late charge at this. But it looks like it's a 2 to 3 driver race as it currently stands as we ride on board with Parham entering the pits there as practice has concluded. And we're going to go ahead and check out our qualifying session. Being that it's our first time in this car, in this series, guys, it's a little bit of a new experience here. You would think it'd be kind of like a sister track to, say, New Hampshire, but I think it drives a lot differently.
Yeah, yeah, it definitely drives differently, I believe, than New Hampshire. And it's kind of, for me, it's a very tricky track. I just can't get it figured out yet. Just not ran here very much. But it's definitely, you got to put it in the right lane into the corner coming in and out. That's for sure on that black.
Yeah, as you see Blake Tuggle there gets a really good drive off. He stuck it in there really good. And these straights are really wide, so it looks like, there'd be a little room for maneuvering down the straights, maybe play a little defense. But I think it's all about setting up the corners correctly. As you can see, have that yellow curbing right there, and the pit entry here is a little tricky as well.
Yeah, I don't like the pit entry. It's about a quarter of the way down the front stretch, kind of.
Yeah,
So,
it's a little bit odd, you know. So
yeah.
you try to set up your pit entry a little bit late, where in most other tracks, you know, you're right in the middle of 3 and 4 trying to make your approach. You're already kind of getting the car straightened out, and then whoop, you got this small opening to kind of dive into last minute. So really interesting how they have things set up here. Right on with Joe Volpus, currently your pole sitter right there, to see if he's going to improve on that first lap here on lap 2. 13 needs a big one tonight, guys.
He's got a
Yeah,
fast car for it, sure. Go ahead,
yeah,
Joe.
And
some of these guys really got to start making up some points tonight. Joe Volpus being one of them. Of course, the other one being the 99 of Parham that needs to make a lot of points. Still waiting for him to go out on track. We're going to see these guys on the leaderboard shifting a lot, mainly because the second lap seems to be the hot lap so far in qualifying. You can see Volpus got down into the 8s. Fritz just 2/100 slower than him, so very close between the two of them. You can see Redinger right now is third. It looks like 30 flat. Not sure if that was his first lap or his second lap. So Ken Redinger still maybe trying to do something. I don't know. I think that was his second lap. So that's about all he's going to get out of the car here tonight. You can see Steve Lewis just jumped his way up into fifth, it looked like, right there over Blake Tuggle. Of course, Blake Tuggle was last week's winner at Iowa, getting his first MRL win. And here you go, Justin Parham coming out on the track, and you can see the lap time that he needs to beat right there if he wants to get the pole and get some crucial points before the race starts tonight.
yeah, it's all about getting those extra bonus points. You know, they really add up, especially over the course of the chase, where you need things like, say, winning the pole, having the fastest lap, leading a lap. You know, all these things come into play here as you're trying to shrink a 19-point deficit over 2 races. We're right on board here with the 99 and see if he can chip away at it before we go green.
Here we go. This is his first lap, so not expecting this first one to be anything too spectacular. Expecting him to throw all the eggs into that second lap here. So trying to set up the best run he can. Looks like he's going to do a bit of an arc down here in 3 and 4. Pretty much stay right on the white line though. So not able to really get too big of a run here for this lap. And you can see Parham runs a 30.1 right there. So we'll see if he's able to get something better on lap 2. Slides almost up out of that groove though, and that's going to really hurt the second lap.
Yeah, it looks like he's just trying to push the car to see if we get every inch out of it there, every little bit of speed, and I think that might cost him some precious time. A lot better 3 and 4 here. Let's see if he can make up the gap right there, shooting out of 4. He's hammered down, coming to the line. Let's see what this time looks like. Yep, going to improve him one spot better, but not going to get him the pole, so he's going to have to do this the old-fashioned way tonight, guys. Right on board with Steve Lewis. So let's see if Steve Lewis can get himself a pole. You know, he's having himself a great chase this season, running inside the top 5 in points. So, I mean, that 88 has shown himself to be quite fast and consistent this season.
Yeah, that's for sure. You know, not maybe the qualifying effort he wanted here tonight. So far, 8th on the board. Not starting on the outside. Not really that big of not that big of an advantage at this track. If not more of a detriment, with the way the bottom line is so important here. So Steve Lewis starting. Looks like he's going to start 8th, barring anybody else going out there putting down qualifying laps. He's going to have his work cut out for him. Looking through this board, though, you know, Jay Stinson had a really good. There you go. That was the end of qualifying, actually.
Yeah, Joe Volpus is going to be your pole sitter. So the 13 of Volpus getting a desperately needed bonus point right there to try to chip away and make his charge towards Redinger. So he's going to lead the field as we go green from Milwaukee tonight. Matthew Fritz with a solid qualifying effort, going to start outside row 1. Jay Stinson, always a great qualifier. He's going to start inside row 2. Justin Parham, as we saw earlier, they're going to secure 4th. And then inside row 3, Matt Novella, 4th in points right now, I should say. Still an outside chance at this. Going to be inside row 3. Lucas Alves making the start tonight. Good to see Lucas out there in the 115. Going to be outside row 3. And then, of course, your current series leader and defending champion, Ken Redinger. He's going to be inside row 4 with Steve Lewis on the outside. And Blake Tuggle and Tommy Fox going to row 5 it for you tonight.
Dalton Connor was the last one to put down a lap time. He's going to start from 11th alongside John Beverly. And then rounding out the field, we got 13th place Brandon Guerin tonight. A bit of a smaller field here tonight for the short track racing. So we'll see how that really plays into the dynamic of the way this race plays out.
Yeah, not a larger size field like we saw in the races leading up to the chase. You get into these moments in different series where seasons wind down. Sometimes attendance tends to drop. Some drivers feel like there's not much to race for out there. But, you have some that love to show up week in and week out because they just love the competitive spirit of it. So 13-car field, we're going to do quality over quantity tonight from Milwaukee.
Looks like we're about ready to go trackside there, C, to get ready to rock and roll.
Absolutely. You got a 77-degree air temperature tonight. Looks like the sun is trying to poke itself through, so we'll see what that does in turn to grip on the track. But right now, we'll go down.
Here to give the command, please welcome our Grand Marshal, owner of Star Importers, Monty Huda.
Drivers, start your engine.
Fired up.
Yeah, Monty Huda comes through in the clutch week in and week out. Great call. Start your engines, fellers. And the pace car is leading him off right here. So what are we going to see early in the run as these guys maybe establish themselves here? You can go a little over 60 laps on a tank of fuel, guys. You have those 3 sets of tires. What do you think the strategy is if this goes green?
1 pit stop.
Yeah.
Very, very straightforward strategy here tonight. Even with the additional sets of tires, it's just like the old Friday Night Thunder series when, you'd have that additional set of tires because you only should have to pit the 1 time here tonight.
So, yeah, with that being said, pace car is going to lead him off. He takes the late jump, almost tanked that Mustang. And we're green from Milwaukee. Volpus gets a great start on the inside there. Going to bite it right down to the corner. Going to hug that yellow line there, get all the grip. As you see Fritz on the outside trying to stay with Volpus. Going to be able to navigate out of 2 and secure second. Right behind him, Justin Parham is going to sneak into 3rd, but Stinson's going to drag race him down the backstretch, entering 3.
Outside line already showing how much of a disadvantage it has, but on these cold tires may have a bit of hope for Justin Parham to maybe be able to clear Jay Stinson if he's able to drive it down deep into this corner and get it turned down the track. Maybe clear his way into 3rd. It looks like Lucas Alves might be trying to do the same thing with Ken Redinger on back.
Looks like Parham able to clear Stinson right there, so we'll see if he dives down to the bottom. I think you want to stay in those repaved patches as there's fresher pavement, a little more grip down there. You saw it. If you're going to hang back there, I think you'll lose a lot of positions quickly. And Volpus and Fritz are driving away. We're already 3 laps in.
Yeah, they're checking out pretty quick here. I think that side-by-side battle between Parham and good old Stinson there, that pretty much opened up the ability for them to drive off. You can see Lucas Alves falling backwards now because of being stuck on the outside like that. Lost another spot to Blake Tuggle there, falls back to 8th. Now you can see Jay Stinson looks like he gets a little bit high there in 3 and 4, and it may open up an opportunity here for Novella down into turn 1.
Yeah, look at 56 looking inside the 98 right there. Novella's going to get the bite on that pave strip. Stinson's going to tuck in right behind. Novella moves up to 4th.
Novella, one of the biggest movers here at the start of the race, doing a good job working his way through the field. Usually a very good driver on long runs. So we'll see if he's got that in store here tonight once again. Another guy, speaking of long runs, your points leader there, Ken Redinger, back in 6th. Always usually the king of the long run here in the series. We'll see if he's got some magic up his sleeve here tonight. Gonna have some work cut out, though, to get through this field. Not very easy to set up passes here. As seen here, Fritz trying to work his way around Volpus.
I think with that 19-point advantage, Redinger definitely wants to keep the pressure on. You don't want to be defensive this early with tonight and next week left on the schedule. There's still so much unknown, so I think you want to continue to press if you're that 24. Keep those leaders and guys right behind you in the points within view, but you don't necessarily want to put yourself in a bad situation. So I think the 24 is going to run himself a smart race tonight, but I do think he's going to keep the pressure on as best he can here as he's right behind the 98. He's going to take a look right there outside the top 5. We'll see what happens over the course of that long run, as you mentioned. But I think that 24 is definitely playing the long game here. And I think he's not going to just rest on that cushion that he has.
You can see it's single file driving now pretty much throughout the whole field. Maybe a little bit different line there from, you can see Tuggle gets a little bit high there. Almost opens up the door for Alves. I saw the 99 of Parham do something way different from everybody else down there in 1 and 2. It didn't look like it really worked for him. Novella caught up to him a pretty good amount. Here he goes again down here in 3 and 4. Looks like the same thing happening up front. Vulpes may have missed the bottom in 3 and 4 himself, and it looks like Fritz trying to set up a move. Not able to get anything done here, though.
It just looks like one of those track surfaces where it would benefit from a full repave. As you can see, there's a clear advantage, and you know, if you miss that corner entry, I think you're up for grabs, but you can play the ultimate set of defense as long as you keep it down there. So definitely single groove in the corners here. I think you guys have to drive yourself a smart race and try to set up the move. I think it might take a couple laps to set up a move if you're, say, like a Matthew Fritz working on Vulpes there. It just looks like it's a clear advantage if you hug the bottom right now.
Yeah, this place, it is so hard to set up a pass, and even harder to complete the pass. It's very tough, for sure.
See Matt Novella right there, Louis, looking behind Parham right there, sneaking that nose out. I think he's going to keep working on that 99 there. I think he's on to something. As you can see, he's getting a little bit better bite in the corner. Looks like Parham's hitting that corner just a little bit late, but able to get the drive off with the somewhat newer or fresh tires that these guys are still on. We'll have to see how that translates as they start putting laps on the tires.
Yeah, and Novella, as of right now, is about the only car that I've seen that's making passes.
Yeah,
Here
look at
comes
Redinger. Yeah.
For the pass.
But yeah, Novella's definitely been on the offense up to this point, but it looks like the 24 is looking to capitalize. He's going to clear and get the pass over that 98. So Redinger into the top 5 and right on the heels of the man that's behind him in the points. So that 99 wants to keep that 24 behind him at all costs.
You can see some guys starting to wander up the track, either by design or not. I would assume it's not by design here. Saw Stinson lose a spot to Redinger. You can see the 13's getting a little high there on entry as well, the 48 as well. So maybe trying to search around, try and find something that may work a little bit different for a long run here, because it looks like maybe tires are going to be at a premium, you know, with how long the fuel is. The race isn't long enough to make an extra pit stop for tires.
I don't think the advantage with new tires over old would make the difference to two-stop it. I think that would just be a losing proposition. And, you know, while you're talking about these guys searching around for different race lines, trying to see what might work now and perhaps later in the run, talk about dirty air at a track like Milwaukee where it's a flat mile oval.
Dirty air is not really too big an effect. The main problem here is the horsepower of the cars and being able to generate those runs out of the corner. It's all momentum based with something like the ARCA car, kind of like the old Gen 6 at 1.5 miles, where it's all momentum based in order to set up your passes. You have to figure out, you have to wait for the driver in front of you to make a mistake, potentially like Parham has right here, where he's way up out of the groove, and it's going to allow somebody like Ken to get to his inside. And then you got to go down there and drive it deep down into turn 3 in order to complete this pass.
It looks like that's what he's just going to attempt to do. They're side by side through 3 and 4. You see Stinson and Tuggle right behind him, and it's a drag race to the start-finish line. Redinger's able to complete the pass. Stinson looking inside as well, and looks like you're just up for grabs back there. Parham bleeding positions early from Milwaukee.
this is not what Justin Parham needs. Gave up a spot to Redinger, and now he's giving up more here. That's just gonna play straight into Ken's hands. Even with Vulpes leading the race, that's with Ken in fourth. That's not enough points. I don't even know if it's enough points right now to overtake Parham. So, we're talking right now. Ken's in a very, very comfortable spot, running where he is. Doesn't just needs to make sure he doesn't make any mistakes, and keeps his car on a consistent pace over the rest of this run.
Yeah, absolutely. You see Blake Tuggle right there behind Stinson. Parham still stuck out there, just looking to try to find a home, get it back down to the bottom. See, they're moving up the track a little bit, trying to search around and carry that momentum as they arc the corners. You see the 39 going to get inside. I think the 99 is just going to kind of let him go here. Maybe he can get back down to the bottom. It's just he's just losing time, and he decides to stay up there. But I think you're losing time, and I think you're losing wear on the tires hanging out outside that paved strip there.
Everything is a disadvantage by being out there for more than a corner or two. Maybe you're able to stick it out there and get a run somehow, a miracle run back to the car in front of you. But if you're not able to get something like that done, then it's just over.
Yeah, I think he decided to tuck back in line there as he saw Lucas Alves there approaching. Lucas there trying to stay in touch with that front group there. A little pass for position there. Back in the field there, Brandon Garand and Tommy Fox. Look like Garand and Beverly back there shooting it way out wide. The 00 of Tommy Fox there just hugging the bottom. And it looks like Tommy's just slowly getting by these guys. Beverly hits the wall, so looks like those guys in the back have their hands full. I think the 00 is running a smart race. I think he's managing his equipment here early. He is a few seconds back, but as you can see, he's just kind of just maintaining his pace right there, taking care of his stuff. So maybe he thinks he can keep that car going later in the run, save a little bit of life in those tires, and maybe make a charge at it when these guys go to start pitting.
You can see that line that Brandon's running. That line used to work in 1 and 2. The bottom was always the premier place to be in 3 and 4 here on iRacing. But that high arc in used to work really well in here before the oval refresh last year, at the end of last year. This line right here, where you enter in that second to third lane. Yep, use that seam and then turn down. That would work so well, especially in the trucks. And I would assume it would coordinate over to this car too. It would work so well, but you could see just in this case, it's not working at all.
You can see him lay down those stripes of rubber too with that high entry, kind of almost sliding the car a little bit. I think it's just going to be a cheese grater on those tires to keep doing that, and then that car's just not going to want to turn after a while. And back up towards the front here. Best battle on the track right now, Louis. You got Tuggle and Stinson right there. Battle for top 5 supremacy.
Yeah, but again, it's so hard to set up a pass and to complete the pass. Here, I think everybody's just settling in, and because I think these tires is an unknown to everybody, what they will do on the long run. 60-some laps is a long
yeah,
run.
First time in the series at this track, it's a little bit of a warm track surface, a little bit overcast, sun peeking in and out. So I think the track is evolving, every handful of laps or so. As you can see, plenty of sun on the front stretch, but you start getting into the corners and on the back stretch, it gets a little bit cloudy over there. So, there's definitely hot and cool spots on the track as you see Vulpes and Fritz just riding in tow. These guys are just kind of controlling the pace there. Matt Novella is slowly creeping in on him, so Matt has definitely picked up his pace some. So I think he's just trying to methodically chip away maybe a tenth at a time. I think you're onto something there, Louis. Since it's so hard to make a pass, I think it's more important to just focus on hitting your marks every lap and just trying to stay dialed in so you're consistent, so you kind of keep that momentum Joe was alluding to earlier.
Yeah, and you find yourself searching for different lines, and they don't pan out. So, yeah, I'd say that's a smart play. It's just try to keep the momentum up and
I think
Hit
you're
your line.
exactly right. You got to hit your marks every time. We're a quarter of the way through here on Friday Night Thunder. Second to last race of the season here. The chase is heating up. Joe Volpis, third in the points currently, needs to do what he's doing right now, and he needs a bad day from the 99 and the 24 to make a big leap forward and make this a three-dog race. But right now, the 48 given to 13, all he can handle at the moment. As you see, the battle for the lead is kind of just staying right there within a car length or two.
The battle further on back. Justin Parham now under attack from Lucas Alves. And Justin Parham going to fall another spot deeper in the field. And that is the opposite of what he needs here today. Just not showing the pace that we've seen him have at in this car, especially at tracks that are a little bit unique. You know, we've seen how great he is at tracks like Darlington, Dover, places like that, but it is not translated at all to Milwaukee here today.
Yeah, usually he's a screaming pace. He's a hard charger at these kind of oddball kind of places that we go to. Some of the more less than conventional ways. You know, Darlington, yeah, it's a crown jewel of a track, but it doesn't drive like typical 1.5 mile style track. A place like Milwaukee. It's not a place that you normally come to in most series, and it definitely is showing that it's not driving like New Hampshire, where we were earlier in the season. So a little disappointing, Justin, going in the wrong direction here. But this also could be something where he's kind of learning right now, just putting that in that notebook, so maybe the second half of his race goes a little bit better and he can storm back to the front. But losing valuable time and spots right now is going to be a big hole to get out of.
Yeah, and the way this race is looking is notoriously when we get spread out like this, you know, even though you got the leaders on top of each other, usually when you have the racing this far deep into a run in Milwaukee, the only way you get a caution is on the pit cycle. Somebody on cold tires spinning it out, something like that. Is usually historically all we see, usually at this track for caution purposes at this point in the run. So Justin pretty much going to need to hope something crazy happens on the pit cycle, I'd say, at this point.
I don't know if we have the telemetry available, but it looks to me like right now Matt Novella is the fastest car on the track as he's closing in on these top two.
Looks like the lap times are pretty comparable right there. Looks like Novella's in the sixes. Actually, if you look behind him, Redinger's a little bit faster than him even. So Ken Redinger's the fastest car on the track, but yeah, Novella's clearly faster than the two cars in front of him. But Redinger faster than all three of them at this point. And yeah, Ken Redinger showing that long run pace once again. And now
Long
you
run.
can see yeah, look, Novella's gonna get up on their rear bumper here, and we're gonna see just how difficult it is to pass, and it's gonna bring Redinger closer even faster.
Absolutely. So Matt Novella is going to put a little pressure on Fritzy right there, but long run Kenny is not far behind. So this is going to be a four-car race here currently in the coming laps here. It's going to be really exciting to see if Matt Novella can set up something on that 48, and then if he can, if he has anything left tire-wise for the 13, because all the 13 has to do right now is just cover that bottom, and it seems to be working at the moment.
Right now, it's just Fritz has been right behind the 13 the whole race pretty much. I think he almost had a chance to get him a couple times, just not able to convert. And you know, at this point in the run, you can see the 48 and the 13 seem to be struggling just about equally with each other. Not
Look a
the
little.
same kind of struggles we see from Novella or Redinger.
While these guys are playing footsies up front, it looks like Tuggle and Stinson want to up their footsies a little bit more. That 39 is looking anxious back there. That 98's having to cover pretty good. But the 39 definitely trying to show a little burst of speed, diving it in there, searching all around to get around that 98. They're kind of losing touch with that top four at the moment. But as you see here, we come back to the action. Novella trying to set up something on that 48. Just like you said, Joe, it's one thing to get there. It's another thing to try to set that up and make a successful run at it.
Yep, and here you go. Now Ken Redinger's clearly in the picture coming out of turn 4 down the front stretch. He'll be right up the rear end of these three in about 2 laps at this pace.
And that's when it could really get spicy. You might see a 3 or 4 wide front or back stretch. You never know. These guys love to put on a show when they're all battling for the lead right there. And, it could be monotonous there, just playing follow the leader here. They have arrived. You'll see the 24. It looks like he's going to be right up the bumper of the 56 in no time. How long do these guys stay content playing follow the leader? I know, we're 20 to 30 laps from our green flag pit cycle. How long do you stay content to ride, or are you just waiting for Vulpes perhaps to have a bobble?
Yeah, this is just racing like a larger version of Martinsville, where it's very difficult to set up that move, and you just kind of need to either A, find a way to bump him out of the way, or B, force him into a mistake.
Looks like Novella was trying to use a little short track there, show the nose, maybe give a little bump to the 48, say, hey, homie, I'm here.
Yeah, that's going to be one of the two ways you have to set up a pass, is either got to use the front bumper or force the guy in front of you into a mistake.
Looks like he's going to try to nudge inside there. He really wants to try to drive the car deep. 48 covering the bottom really good, playing stellar defense. But that 24 is right there. Look at this 4-car choo-choo train.
Oh, and there he goes. Fritz gets loose. There's that mistake.
Yeah.
That's what you guys were talking about. Fritzy with the bobble. Novella's going to capitalize. They're side by side. Novella slides it a little bit there, but I think he's going to make it stick. Look at Fritz battle back on the outside there.
Yeah, still side by side here, so maybe still some hope for the 48, but he's going to have to try and clear down into 3. Not able to clear here. I think that's going to be it for this battle for second. He might lose third here in the same go.
Yeah, it looks like Redinger's right there coming up on the lap car of Beverly. Looks like Fritz is stuck right there. He's going to lose 2 positions. Beverly gets out of the way, but the 2-for-1 special happens in 1 lap for the 48. Not ideal, but able to recover nicely. Matt Novella up to second. Ken Redinger up to third.
That's all it took was one little bobble. He went from second to fourth by getting loose. Don't take much.
It sure doesn't, Louie. It was just something real quick. You blink and you missed it right there. Novella now putting the pressure on the 13, so let's see if Novella can set something up on Vulpes right here, but looks like Redinger is able to just stay content in third there, just stay in touch with him, but Novella's hungry, guys.
Yeah, that was crucial right there that Redinger got around Fritz on that same move, because it didn't give Novella a chance to really breathe and get away from the 24, so now he's going to be even more desperate to get around the 13 as fast as possible here, with the 24 breathing down his neck directly.
Looks like the 56 is looking inside right there. Not enough, but the 24 steps outside, might let the 48 back in, wisely tucks it back in there. Woo, Redinger was definitely taking a peek there while Novella is trying to plot his move against Vulpes. Vulpes is doing a masterful job, just doing what he needs to do to stay in front of these guys, keeping the car clean, not mirror driving, just hitting his marks and staying cool under pressure. Novella's giving him all he can handle right now.
See Redinger trying to get close to the bumper, the 56 trying to set up a move on the 13 at the same time. And they're all going to converge, I think, right here.
Wow, that's tight racing. Vulpes out of the groove, guys.
Yeah, it looks like they got really close to each other. 13 gets up the track. 56 going to get underneath him here. That might be all that was needed right there.
Yeah, battle for the lead. 56 and Novella looking side by side with Vulpes. Vulpes is going to battle back hard, swings it out really wide. Look at Redinger.
Oh.
Wow, loose out of 4. Wow, Ken Redinger with a big, deep breath right there. Woo!
Could have been detrimental right there if he wasn't able to save it, hit those pit barrels. That would have completely changed the whole trajectory of this race, not only for him, but for everybody else.
And when all that going down, we have a new race leader, Matt Novella, to the point, that 56. Definitely looking racy tonight, as just really smooth and really aggressive.
Yeah, it looks like Fritz has been able to stabilize himself now, so we'll see if Vulp is able to do the same. Right now, those two, second and third. Redinger recovered there pretty quick from that tank slapper, I guess you could say, out of 4. But this is also, all of this battling's allowed Tunnel to get past Stinson and catch up to this group pretty fast as well.
So Blake Tuggle said, "Hey, I won last week. You know, I'm hungry. I'm looking for more." He definitely wants to make that a 5-car battle. Looks like Stinson is trailing behind just close enough. We might have ourselves the full complement of the top 5 all in line right there. All that battle into the lead definitely brought those guys closer.
Like Dalton Connor came into the pits. This is on the very early end of the pit cycle. You know, you are able to make it to the end from here, but going to be on the oldest tires to the end. Probably would like to see a caution at some point with maybe 2025 to go.
See the 57 in the pit. He's been pulled off for a few laps now. Not sure what's going on there. We'll try to get an update as soon as we find something out. But the 13 of Vulpes right there now starting to lose time to Novella with Ken Redinger nipping on his heels.
Yeah, Novella's starting to drive away at the moment.
Redinger's looking inside there, Louis.
He's looking.
He's still looking.
He's
Look,
got
check
it.
him out.
Yeah.
Some really good camera angles here, too. Catching all the action up close and through the turns right there. Great camera work by the production crew. You see Redinger really setting up the move there. Vulpes out of the groove, kind of just in no man's land right now. Almost smacks the wall on exit. So you know those tires got a little age on them right there. Definitely showing a little signs of wear. Able to get back in line and only lose the one position. But Fritz, Tuggle, and Stinson are there now, fellas.
Yeah, he done a good job not to lose that position to Fritz, too. I think Fritz might have made a mistake as well. But,
yeah, you know, and then
give them up. They just keep coming, you know.
Yeah, they do. You know, you give an inch, they'll take a mile.
Yeah.
But it's also early enough in the race. Maybe Fritz cutting Vulpes a little bit of a break, knowing that he can stay right with him. But when you have that 39 right on the rear bumper of that 48, it's Tuggle is there applying that pressure now, kind of coming to life later in the run.
Yeah, right now you can see Stinson also coming to life, able to catch up to these guys as well. Ken Redinger, though, is continuing his reign on being the fastest long run car because he's closing in on Novella now. He's cut it down from 1 second down to 6/7 now.
Yeah, the 24 is just an unstoppable force. He's a machine, guys. He just knows how to get it done. Novella with a little bit of a bobble out of 4 there. Maybe trying to break the air, but I don't think that's really a big deal here. I think he just needs to focus on that line. He's just missing that paved area, and the 24 is just consistently dialing it in corner after corner.
You see that last time around. Louis, you can see, look at those lap times. That last time around, 2/10 faster for Redinger.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. I mean, but Novella, I don't know whether he was searching for something on that higher line, but he definitely missed the last 2 corners.
And you see the 39 there looking to set up the move on the 48. Just not enough bite there, but oh boy, wow, that got up close and personal right there. 39 forcing the issue. He sees that we're losing time to the top 2. 39 trying to make something happen here. Fritz forced on the outside. Stinson looking inside as well. The 48's going to be hung out right here. It might be a 2-for-1.
Bella into the pits here at the same time, so the leader's going to come down exactly at halfway and cut this race in half.
Matt Novella just going to do its symmetry right there, so I think he's happy with that initial run. Doesn't want to put any more wear on the tires, knows what he has after a 50-lap run. We'll have to see how it cycles out. Looks like he was in clean. Make sure he exits clean. Don't want to get that black flag like we saw out of him last time.
Looks like everything was clean for him in and out. Yeah, there he goes.
Parham in there, too. Looks like Parham getting some service in there as well. Look at Tuggle setting up the move on Fritzy right there.
Vulpes comes into the pit at the same time there, so that's allowed these guys to now not have the purple car right in front of them. So we'll see if that changes the complexion of the way these guys race any.
And this is one of those deals, like you mentioned earlier in the race. It's been green up to this point. This pit cycle might be where we could see a potential caution where looks like Tuggle pushed up the track a little bit, almost contact with the 48. And it looks like the 98 is right behind them as well. It's a little cluster right there. Tuggle able to cover, gains the position.
Yeah, Tuggle was able to muscle his way up there into that spot into second in the running order. We'll see where everybody cycles in terms of,
Woo!
oh boy, in
Little
terms of pitting.
loosey-goosey. Tommy Fox getting service, going to exit the pits right there. So the 00 was able to move up into the top 10 right there, just methodically chipping away. Top 10 Tommy at work again.
Yeah, doing a good job as always, just having a quiet day, trying to work his way forward. But looking at these lap times, so Redinger hasn't pitted yet. Looks like his last time around was a 30.8. Novella just ran his first full lap on those new tires, and he ran a 30.4, so I was only 4/10 better. So that's not really enough for there to be enough of an advantage on this to really make it work long term, mattering on how long Ken stays out there. Looking at the pit times, I think Joe took 2 tires there as well, and didn't cycle in front of the 56, so we'll see how that plays out.
Yeah, absolutely. So Volpus right behind Novella there, not able to get the leapfrog, but he'll have a little bit of a fresher tire advantage. But just as you said, it doesn't look like it's really going to matter much. Not a lot of fall off tonight. So it looks like, you know, as long as you're hitting your marks there, like these guys have been doing, the tires have been taking care of themselves. As you see, Fritz starting to fall back a little bit, coming into the clutches of the 98. We'll see if Stinson can put the move on him before these guys decide to pit. Tuggle getting himself a nice little 5-car length lead on him.
Right now, we're still waiting on these top 4 to pit. So once these top 4 pit, then we'll see where everybody really cycles out. Ken Redinger, of course, we saw how good he was on a long run, but he's staying out the longest here out of those front guys. It looks like he's going to finally bail.
Leader coming in here, lap 56 of 100 on Friday Night Thunder. And it looks
Oh,
like Blake
boy.
Tuggle, wow, the aggressive pit entry trying to make up a little bit of time. Let's see if he got busted right there. That was a close one.
If he didn't, it would be.
Blake Tuggle
Miracle.
trying to get everything he can out of that pit cycle right there. We'll have to see if that car stays in jail for a little bit or if he gets out with Redinger. They're going to take a set of 4 general tires there. Redinger is out. Tuggle's out. Wow. That's about as hard as you could push it without getting that black flag, boys.
Yeah, that looked like to me he was speeding for sure. I'd love that one.
Yeah, I mean, he really did cook it on pit entry there. That's right. Wow. So all that being said, Jay Stinson has not come in yet, so Jay's going to get credit for a lap led. The 98 and the 48 still haven't pit just yet. So we're waiting to see what happens when they come in for service. Should be any lap now, as we can go roughly 60 to 65 laps, and the 98 is going to come in for service. So going to relinquish the lead after leading a lap. Jay Stinson coming in, looks like coming in nice and clean right there. Going to get his set of 4 and pack that thing full of fuel.
Yeah, so when we see the difference in pitting later, Redinger, remember, he was only half a second behind Novella before the cycle started. He's now 5 seconds back of Novella. So, and then you got Tuggle about a second and a half behind him. So those guys lost a fair amount of time waiting to pit here. So I'm assuming Stinson probably going to come out somewhere between Parham and Alves is going to be my guess.
Yeah, so the 24 is going to have some work to do, Louis. As you see, Stinson gets out clean right there. Going to cycle out right there with Fritz. So that was a good even exchange right there.
I believe the fresher tires, though. I think he'll run him down for sure.
Fritz hasn't pitted yet, so Fritz
So
still leading the race.
It's the final car yet to pit, so he's trying to get a nice,
Fritz hasn't pitted yet.
Nice bonus point for leading a lap right there. You know, he's been running a nice, smooth and clean race. So it's just all about getting the most out of that pit cycle. Lets the 98 go by on those freshies. I think we'll probably see him wave the white flag and come in now, as he's probably got that tank about dry.
Yeah, we're on lap 62, 61. Coming to 62. Yeah.
Yep, coming to 62 here out of 4. We'll see if he keeps it close. Yep, he's going to come into pit, boys, and that's going to complete the pit cycle. Matthew Fritz gives up the lead. Last car to pit during this cycle. So that's going to give Matt Novella the lead. He's going to gain the lead once we cycle this back around. He's got himself about a 7-car length advantage over Joe Volpus. Ken Redinger's got himself a little bit of work to do, 5 seconds behind them. But as we saw, I mean, he's got plenty of time and plenty of clean track ahead of him to do it. So it's just all about Matt in that clean air, just maintaining that gap and hitting his marks precisely. 13, I think 13 just needs to manage his stuff and see if he has anything for him late, because we saw Volpus do a wonderful job through the majority of that initial run, and then I think the tires started giving up later in that run.
See if the same happens this time around. Looks like Ken Redinger settled his way into third, closing in slowly on these guys in front of him. Everybody pretty spread out, so I think it might be a good time to give a shout out to one of our sponsors.
Yeah, we need to pay some bills around here. There's a man, and he's got a familiar question for you.
Here at KK Woodscapes, we only work with the finest woods, the finest tools. We sand the wood here at KK Woodscapes. We stir the paint with a wooden stick here at KK Woodscapes. And then we brush the wood with a wooden brush here at KK Woodscapes. And when it's all said and done, we have these perfectly manicured nails. Put the plaques in the trophies, in the envelopes, ship them to your box, and on your way to you to commemorate your special day. Got wood, KK Woodscapes.
So if you have any trophy presentation or awards ideas that you would like to have created, KK Woodscapes can bring it to life. You know, he's got the wood. So Kevin Kyle over at KK Woodscapes does a lot of work for this series, other series, and leagues within the iRacing community. And it doesn't have to be iRacing specific. If you have an idea, he can bring it to life. So reach out to KK Woodscapes today.
Here you go. Here you go. Here's your battle for 10th right now. Steve Lewis and Tommy Fox. They have a lot of ground to make up on the track if they want to get back into this, but top 10 on the line here between the two of them if this thing does go green.
Absolutely. Bragging rights. These two are usually consistently having top 10 results week in and week out. Tommy looking on the outside, looking in. Steve Lewis rounds out that 10th position. So definitely a lot of bragging rights going here. These guys are just consistently up there week in and week out. So a fun little rivalry here as we see the battle for 10th.
It's like they're just content running nose to tail for right now.
The interval between first and third was 5 seconds before we went to the commercial break. What is it now?
Well, it's looking like it's around 2 seconds now. So
Okay.
if I'm not mistaken, Fast Louie, the number 24 is coming.
Yeah.
That car looks way faster than the two cars in front of him at this point in time. Definitely way faster than the 13. That looks like he's falling a little bit off. The 56. Yeah, look at those lap times.
Oh, wow.
You can see 0.3 of a second faster than Novella, 0.4 than Volpus here, and he's setting up a pass doing that as well. So
Look at that 24 there. It almost looks like old tires versus new tires, yet they're on similar rubber. This is interesting here. That 24 is cooking at the moment.
right side's
13
only in the
though.
13 is I think that's what you're gonna say.
2 tires. He's on a 2-tire stop right here. I
So
believe.
you can see that 2 tires, you know, might be feeling the pains from that at the moment after Redinger completes the pass. Just hoping that maybe that all neutralizes here over the course of time. But the 24 is stalking that 56 right now and has got it under 2 seconds at the moment.
All that going on, that last time around, it looks like Blake Tuggle was the fastest car on the lap track in that top 5, if I'm not mistaken. It looks like Stinson was the fastest car overall, but Tuggle right now was the fastest in the top 5, and he's only 4 seconds back. So
Look at
he's got
Stinson right there.
Yeah, Stinson definitely not going to be the fastest on the track this time in this heated battle with Parham and Alves for 5th. Parham did an aggressive undercut, and it worked him back into the top 5. But now he's going to be in the same situation as Novella and Vulpes in front of him, where he's going to try and hold off newer tires with his older ones.
Absolutely. So as we get later into the run, it's going to start paying the price a little bit. Those guys on slightly fresher stuff going to try to charge through the field. So successfully defending now, but it's just maybe just a matter of time before that 115 and then ultimately that 98 push on through. 99 not having the race that he was looking for. So he's definitely in one of those scenarios where he's looking for a little help from the racing gods.
A lot of help here for Stinson. Somebody I'm looking at, though, that's really fallen off is Matthew Fritz. He's back there in 8th, and he's 12, 13 seconds back there. Not been probably the biggest loser here on this whole pit cycle, actually. Remember, he was up there battling for the lead. He's now fallen behind other guys and fallen to 8th, way off the pace to
Very
everybody
interesting.
else.
Tale of 2 races for the 48. We saw him there in second for the majority of that first fuel run, and then stayed within that 4 to 5 car breakaway before they all started to start that pit cycle. And now he's just kind of on the back half of that top 10. So not the race that he was looking for after showing early promise there. We'll have to keep tabs on that 48, but definitely off the pace and not up battling in the front like we saw earlier. 115
Go.
looking inside right there. He's got the position. He's got the inside on Parham. Side by side drag race down the front stretch as we're there. 26 to go on Friday Night Thunder. Laps are clicking down, so it's kind of money time. You got to start making that push for it. Get everything that you can. Looks like the 98 is taking a peek as well. The 99 is just staying out there, and the 115 looks like he's going to have this position there. Going to be side by side again. See if he can pull it off coming out of 4 right here.
Better tires, just superior tires here. Parham probably going to lose both of these spots pretty fast, actually. Looking at what's going on here, and looking back up towards the front, we don't need to go there because they're about to be 3 wide. But looking at the interval, the 24 car's got it under 0.8 of a second, so he's closing in a hurry on Novella.
Absolutely. And the 2-for-1 just happened to Parham right there. Stinson able to complete the pass. So the 99 going in the wrong direction at the moment. With the 98 looking inside the 115. It's spicy between these guys.
Stinson not gonna let an opportunity slide past. After both of them get past Parham, he's gonna take quick advantage of Lucas Alves. Not let him rest at all, and immediately put him back under attack. And it looks like this may work out in Stinson's favor to get that top 5 spot.
Kind of brings Fritz back into the picture too, as we saw him fall off. But Stinson never gained a position he didn't like, Louis.
No, that is for sure. He likes to go forward all the time.
Absolutely. Going in the right direction here. But you see the battle for the lead starting to intensify right here. Maybe we kind of focus our interest here as the 24 has been chipping away at that 56, and he's not going to be denied here, guys. He's coming.
Yeah, it's just a matter of time. I mean, he's got, I think, at least 10 to 12 lap fresher tires.
And he's gaining like a 10th every lap, as you can see by the screenshot right there, the graphic helping us out, exactly showing what's going on here. Redinger at least a 10th faster per lap. Look at him right here. He might be setting up a move here by the time we come to the line next time around.
Speaking of setting up moves behind them, it looks like Blake Tuggle's setting up the 13 car for 3rd here. And he's going to have a lot of work ahead of him to get into that battle for the win. I think Blake Tuggle is most likely going to need a caution here to get back into this thing. 4 seconds with 20 laps is just not going to be enough time.
Yeah, able to complete the pass on Vulpes there for third. So Blake Tuggle will have to really have one hell of a drive here with 20 to go for Milwaukee. I think he's just out of reach, as you alluded to. But the real magic is right up front with Redinger knocking on the door of the 56 down the backstretch.
Here we go.
There, he's just got a nice drive deep and clean into the corner entry there. Hugs and wraps the bottom. Smooth exit. Novella knows he's there, so Novella's going to have to play defense. 19 to go here for Milwaukee.
Look at that line, Louis. Look at just how much he's able to drive it deeper into the corner, able to really stick it in the center there too. That's only a couple lap difference in tires. I think it's about I know you said 10 to 12. I think that's only 6 laps, Louis.
I thought it was a lot more than that. I thought Novella pitted.
Pitted on 50 compared to 56, I believe.
Yeah, look at him there. Novella going to stay on the bottom, play the defense. Redinger looking out over on the top there. See if he can just try to use pure speed and pace. But look at him right there. He's just right on the bumper there, looking inside. Maybe try to take the air off that left rear. He's knocking on the door, guys. I think it's just a matter of time. Look at him there. He's trying to set it. Almost had the position on him. Novella closed the door late. That's well defended, but he's going to have to do it 17 more times.
Yeah. Good luck.
This was the start of the race where everybody was on equal tires. You know, you saw Vulpes hold off Fritz and then for a considerable amount of laps.
Woo!
It's just not going to be possible on these older tires. Here we go. This is it right here.
Trying to drive him down the track there, but Redinger had a great bite on exit. They're side by side right now. The battle for the lead coming to the line, 16 to go. Redinger's going to have the advantage by a nose right there, and he's going to be able to set up turn one nicely there. Novella's going to try to drive it deep to carry the momentum, wrapping it on that middle lane, but Redinger's got that grippy rippy right there. He's got the position secured. Novella's got to try to figure out something here to try to battle back.
Driving it deep into the corners and pinching the 24 pretty good to keep himself competitive, at least here for the time being. He's going to need to find a way to force the 24 into a mistake and then end up back in front of him.
I think so, but I think right now he's trying to pinch him yet again. I think Redinger's going to have to try to keep Novella on the wall and maybe try a late entry to, well, it looks like he's going to cover it right there. So Novella valiantly tried to defend and battle back, but Redinger's going to get that position. New race leader, Ken Redinger.
56 able to hold on a little bit better than we thought here as well. Maybe try and find his way back around him if possible. Oh, he's going to send it deep into that corner. I don't think that's the way he wants to do it.
Yeah, well, look at him try to battle back. He's got the inside position right there, but I think that 24 has just got a little bit more of an advantage grip-wise.
For certain, and you can see all this battling between the two of them, though, is allowing Tuggle to close in. He's got it down to 2.8 seconds. So at the clip he's been closing in on him, he's actually going to get there right at the end of the race if he continues what he's been doing. Remember, he's at 4 seconds with 20 to go. Got it down to 2.8 seconds with 14 to go, so he's making up those 2/10 a lap that he needed.
Absolutely. So he's looking to see if these guys can mix it up and battle a little bit more. See if Novella can cool those tires off a little bit, maybe gather it back up, mount one more charge at that 24. But Redinger got the clean air there. It looks like that lap traffic is in the distance for him. I don't know if he's going to come in touch with them before the end of the race, but Novella's sticking with the 24. Very impressive.
For certain. You can see the lap time starting to get a little variant between everybody. Guys like Parham, it looks like Alves may have had a moment on the last lap, 32.3, so something happened with him. But everybody else's lap time's pretty much normal for where they are in their tire runs. Dalton Connor's in the 31, so is Tommy Fox. Steve Lewis almost there's the 56 is diving it deep in these corners. And you can see Vulpes is falling off on his 2 tires. But I don't think he's going to fall off enough for the guys behind him to catch him. But right now, Novella's found some second wind in these tires to hold on to the 24 for the time being.
Yeah, as long as he can stay in touch right there, it's not out of reach. It's not over yet. There's coming to the line. There's 10 to go. Riding here with the lovely roof cam on these cars. As long as he keeps it right there, you know, anything could happen here as the laps wind down. We're getting close to money time. It is one of those how bad do you want it situations. Redinger defending his championship here in incredible fashion here, having a great drive tonight. One more race after tonight, guys. So basically, Redinger doing everything that he needs to do to defend his title and add some hardware here. 56 starting to lose a little bit here. As you can see, it's going to be inch by inch, almost a car length now.
I think any sort of chance that the 56 had of coming back at the 24 has been lost. Maybe he got some second wind running behind him on those tires, but I think it's pretty much over right here.
Yeah, Redinger's definitely increasing that advantage on exit each time. Now it looks like about 3 car lengths, 9 to go, now 8 to go. Looks like Redinger is in the driver's seat. Getting a little close to that lap traffic there. You saw them navigate around the 57, who's back on the track. So 57 able to get back in the race, but Novella losing touch with that 24.
No, but Novella, he sure impressed me there, the way he kept up with him. I figured once Redinger got by him, got him cleared, I thought he'd drive away from him. But he held strong on the outside for a couple laps, and then. But I think he's just used up his tires now. I think
It was very impressive. You know, he stuck with him for a while there. It was quite the battle. You know, it was really fun to watch. And, you know, he wasn't willing to just let it go. He was able to try to use whatever was left in the car. So definitely not going to just lay down and give it to the 24. As you see that battle right there for 10th again, right in front of our leaders. So Lewis and Fox not done yet. Here comes the leaders. Yeah,
look right in front of him. Dalton Connor is right now. Remember that super aggressive undercut has fallen back into the clutches of these guys. So it's about to be a 3-way battle right in the front of the leader with 5 to go.
Yeah, he was the first one to pit, so I think he's really feeling a pinch on those tires now. And looks like Lewis and Fox are closing in. Look at Fox dive it down inside right there, trying to find some way to set it up on that 88 with the leaders right behind them.
Sun's peeking out here in 1 and 2, so that might change the characteristic of the way this thing drives on this end of the track as well. May overheat that right front a little bit more, and that's probably why we're seeing Novella fall off a little bit here as well.
Yeah, trying to increase the temperature on that surface a little bit, make it a little slippery out there. You know, he's got a few lap older tires, was defending the 24 for a while, so he's just driving it hard to try to stay in touch with that 24. 24 is coming up on this lap traffic right here. Let's see what happens with 4 to go.
It's going to be very crucial because we got a battle for 10th, and you got 9th right in front of him. And now you got Ken that's going to try and sneak up the inside of the 00 here, coming to 3 to go. Novella's only hope here is something crazy happening with one of these lap cars.
Yeah, the Redinger and the Hornets nest the lap cars right now. Novella just following right behind, looking for that mistake to capitalize. That sun is getting bright out there now. This is the sunniest and shiniest it's been all day as the laps wind down. It'll be 2 to go at the line.
Saw Dalton Connor get loose right in front of Lewis, and then both of them right in front of Redinger. So far, even though with them right in front of him, not helped Novella catch up at all. So Novella's still 7/10 back, even with all this chaos right in front of Ken.
Oh, wow, the 88 puts the block on the leader right there. Redinger trying to find a way to get around the lap cars right there with Novella, just hoping that something happens right there. You know, lap and a half left. 88 slips up the track, lets the leader go, dives back in line. Going to follow the leader right there. Coming to the line here, white flag from Milwaukee.
It's one more lap, 1 more mile to go. for Ken Redinger to get another win here on Friday Night Thunder and really bolster that point lead heading into Legacy Atlanta next week. Here he comes down the backstretch for the final time.
Absolutely. The 24 had the best long run car of the day. We saw it on the first run. We saw it happen after the pit cycle on the second run. Out of 4, another clean set of corners. Ken Redinger is going to take it from Milwaukee. Matt Novella, a valiant effort in second. Blake Tuggle going to round out that podium tonight. Great drive out of that 39. 56 was very impressive, boys. Vulpes going to be fourth right there. But Redinger decided not to be on the defensive. He actively stayed on the offense here during this chase, and he has extended that points lead, fellas.
Yeah, I wished I had his secret sauce, but he's definitely got it going on, for sure. Very fast.
Gonna come around and do those victory donuts there. 24 there is solidifying his points lead, and he does it in exhilarating fashion there, taking home the victory with a great battle with Novella there. Gonna take home the dub. Look at that aerial shot. 24 was fast tonight, guys.
Yeah, and he did it without leading the most laps either. He worked his way through the field and was better, just superior on the long run, and then got his advantage by pitting later than everybody that he was racing for the race win, and turned that into a huge tire advantage and the race win ultimately at the end of the race.
Yeah, Novella, I bet he's regretting coming down pit road as early as he did now. Do you think there would have been a different turnout if Novella would have pitted 5 laps later, 6 laps later?
I mean, that would have changed the complexion of where they came out in relation to each other. It looked like Redinger was way better on that first run on those older tires at the end of the run, and that's why Novella did that undercut, was in order to stay in front of Ken, because they were about to battle each other for the race lead there. Which, yeah, I don't know, Louis. I think Novella did what he could with what he had to work with.
Just another one of those what ifs. But we do know that Redinger takes home the victory tonight. Going to finish there in the top spot, bring home the trophy and the girl. Matt Novella going to be the runner-up tonight. Great performance, though. Can't give enough credit to the 56. Great drive tonight. Blake Tuggle, that momentum after getting that hard-earned first victory last week, going to round out third right there. Great drive out of him, showing speed all season long. That 39 has just become a force every week. Joe Vulpes ends up fourth after leading pole and leading a bunch of laps early. Just not enough to make that late race charge. 2 tires did not work, going to be fourth. Jay Stinson there, solid drive out of him, gets a top 5. He was one of those that needed really big things to happen tonight. Great performance, but that's not going to do anything for him points-wise. Matthew Fritz there, we saw him charging in second there, and right there at the heels of the leader. Had a little bobble there in the second half of the race, able to recover to 6th. Another race of what could have been for him. And Justin Parham, who needed to have this one tonight, guys, it just didn't work out for Justin, going to finish 7th. Lucas Alves with a great drive in that 115. Had, great speed, was in the top 5 for periods of the race, going to finish 8th. And Dalton Connor tried to do the early undercut. I think maybe he paid the price in the long run, but still a top 10, going to finish 9th. And then Steve Lewis going to solidify the 10th place finish and round out that top 10.
Tommy Fox ends up in 11th place there in that battle, getting lapped there at the end with Louis. 12th place goes to John Beverly, out of the race at halfway, but able to stay in front of Brandon Garrett, who came back out to run some laps, but not enough laps left in order for him to pass him. And that was the 13-car field for tonight's race. And that's pretty much given Ken, I think, a mortal lock on the championship heading into Atlanta. Of course, a lot can happen at Legacy Atlanta still, but that 30-point gap is pretty much insurmountable.
That's a large lead. So all Redinger essentially needs to do is just show up and keep the car clean, guys. Parham needs everything to happen and go his way, just like Joe Volpes. Volpes needs everything to go his way, every possible bonus point, every possible outcome to happen for him to leapfrog Redinger as well. From fourth on back, it's just a seeding situation of how high can you get up to that fourth place spot, essentially, as these guys drove their heart outs for most of the chase, but just going to come up a little short right there. Novella, with that runner-up performance, going to move up 2 spots. Stinson, despite having a top 5, going to drop 1. Dalton Connor with that top 10 is going to move up a spot. Garand, not able to complete all the laps, going to slip back 1. And then Fox and Beverly remain unchanged.
That's pretty much everybody. You got Fritz then able to pass Gambrel, of course, who wasn't here. So a few battles going on throughout the pack. Parham Volpa's there for second. A few other battles, Lewis, and then of course you saw some ties there with Novella. Saw Stinson right there as well. So a couple battles, inner battles going on for other positions heading into Atlanta, of course. So we'll see how that goes for the final race of the season. 120 laps around Legacy Atlanta to close out the season next week.
Absolutely. So before we talk about that, I want to get your takeaways from tonight's race here at Milwaukee. We'll start with you, Louie. The Milwaukee Mile, the flat oval. You saw what went down tonight. What are your takeaways?
Honestly, I thought it was. I probably shouldn't say, but I give the honest truth. But anyway, it
Not
was.
not a big fan, huh?
No, I wasn't a big fan. I personally, I couldn't figure the track out. I personally had no speed, and I'm usually really good at flat tracks. That's what I just. I don't know whether it was a track position type. I don't know.
So we break down the fourth wall and we get the driver perspective,
Yeah.
which definitely gives you more of that firsthand knowledge from the broadcasting perspective. But I definitely understand where you're coming from there. It's a little bit of a frustrating anomaly, single groove, hard to pass, all that kind of stuff. But definitely understand what you're trying to say over there. Just didn't have the it factor for you tonight.
No. And I personally like racing at Milwaukee. I like the track. Just didn't have it.
And Joe, your thoughts tonight as we completed the second to last race here in that chase.
A complete different takeaway from what I just had. But go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's pretty much the same thing that it was a carbon copy repeat of the truck race here in MRL DDI, the DDI Moonlight Truck Series race, where it just kind of got so spread out, and it just came down to just tires at the end, just to make the moves that were needed to win the race. Ken Redinger pretty much carbon copy repeat of what he did in that race, and I felt like it was pretty much a carbon copy repeat of how the track drove in that race in particular as well. So uh, there's a lot more of sponsorships on the wall, so I'm almost certain this track was a part of the oval refresh. And I think iRacing may have taken some of the character out of the different lines you could really run around here, because it became very bottom dependent and very tire savvy dependent more than it was in the past. It felt like to other races around here in the trucks and the B class car as well.
Like an exaggerated Iowa refresh where you used to be able to run the high side before the update and those repave strips that you have there. This kind of took that up a notch and gave us an extreme example of that. So definitely know what you're saying there. And Definitely something that all these guys are going to take away after tonight. That being said, we have our penultimate race next week, the championship at the Legacy Atlanta format, the 2008 version of the track. All the chips are in the center. It's a three-driver race. Redinger has a 30-point lead. We all know what's at stake. We all know the assignment. I'll start again with you, Louis. What do you see in that championship race? What are you projecting and predicting next week as we crown the champion?
As far as Redinger goes, he knows what he needs to do. He just needs to keep the car clean and do what he's done all year. Just be fast and as far as that goes, as far as the race goes, I look for some great racing at what are we calling it, Old Atlanta.
Yeah, yeah, we call it
So
old Atlanta,
Old
Legacy
Atlanta,
Atlanta, the Atlanta where they don't plate race.
yeah, yeah. So I look for a great race next week for sure. And I just want to shout out to drivers that used to run in this series. If you're watching this broadcast, come join us for the last race of the season. Um, more the merrier. Let's go.
And then I'll turn it over to you, Joe. It's the championship race. Same question.
Well, Atlanta's a very big cheese grater in terms of tire wear, so we'll see a lot of tire strategy again next week. Legacy Atlanta was the very first race of the series of Friday Night Thunder ARCA, so there was a lot to still be learned from that race and to really refine. So we'll see just how far the series has come from the first race tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow. This coming Friday to close out season number 3. We'll see just how much everybody's improved and refined how to really take the lines in this car and work the right strategy in order to, of course, get the best position and maybe win the race to close out season 3.
Joe, I've
Yeah,
done a lot of things. I'm sorry.
go ahead.
Since the first race there, how did that race go? Do you have any?
Uh, from knowledge off the top of my head, there was a lot of cautions, just
Oh,
Caution
no.
heavy
everybody
race.
getting
Yep.
everybody getting used to the car. There was a lot of glaring issues with the car at that point compared to now, such as netcode being a massive
Yeah.
issue, and the
Okay.
draft package on the car was absolutely horrendous at that point too. So uh, that race, the car drove very chaotic. There was 10 cautions in a 100-lap race, so I don't think we'll foresee anything that chaotic
No, I don't
again.
either. I don't either.
So I really wouldn't take what happened in that race and really apply it to what's going to happen this time around.
Yeah, so with that being said, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit the bell icon because next week we crown a champion. Will Ken Redinger repeat as champion, or will Justin Parham or Joe Volpus muster up what it takes and become a new series champion as we wrap up season 3? Make sure you stay tuned next week here on MRL Broadcasting, where we're going to bring you all the action. Congratulations tonight to Ken Redinger for the victory, taking home that dub. And for Fast Louie in the booth, Smoking Joe, I'm your host, Snake. And remember, go fast or get past.